I know everyone's like, Michelle, are you there? My boyfriend's sleeping next to me. I'm like whispering on the mic, I'm still here.
I was so out of it. Um, all right, let's see here. Hey, girl.
Hey, did you go today?
I did. I just got back.
Did just so tell me they had so you were in Wexford and Courtney was on the screen and
Yep.
then Judge Elmer was on another screen and then they just went all virtual or
Virtual?
Virtual. So the jail does their arraignments. It's up to the jail. So like Misaki County will do theirs live, and so they do it. They bring out the accused for arraignment and for all of their hearings. Wexford is different. So they have theirs virtually done over the screen. It's very similar to Zoom, but it's not Zoom. And that's how they stream it live on YT and other platforms as well. So currently, and I'm just gonna let's start off with Honorable Judge Wiggins was currently seated in Misaki County. So the district judge and the 28th Circuit Court judge, they in Wexford, they look over and do all of the hearings for Misaki County as well. So they one hand washes the other kind of thing. So they share our judges just because they're a small community. Misaki it's Lake City, that we kind of had they use the same judges. They have their own court personnel. Wiggins was in Misaki County today. So we were watching him on the screen in Misaki County. And the first up was Courtney. And I'm not sure if Courtney shirt was intentionally like this, but I don't believe so. But she had ripped, it looked like she had ripped her shirt from here all the way down past her elbow on both sides. It looked pretty torn. I'm not sure, you couldn't tell too much into that. She looked pretty rough. So once we got started, unfortunately, the arraignment has been postponed and won't be until tomorrow. So the reason is for that is because the detectives and the investigators for the prosecuting attorney. So her attorney requested a PR bond, and the prosecuting attorney said, no, we're not. We want to hold them without bond because of the severity of the case, how involved the public is, and the heinous crimes that were committed. There was no indication of murder charges, but the way the prosecutor said these things, how basically how evil it was, it really indicated something to a lot of us in that courtroom that, this is regarding, Rebecca. And I can't, that's allegedly, and I'm just going to say that out, for everybody, to hear. We will know tomorrow. So 1:30, and Judge Wiggins should be in Cadillac, which is Wexford County. So he will be present. Then we went from there. So 1:30 tomorrow. And then we went from there to Misaki County, where the judge is at. And to our surprise, we found out that Brad is being housed in Misaki. Wexford County they built a new jail, and it's the reason why they built the new jail was because the old jail was close to being, condemned. It only housed like 40 some inmates, and they were paying the county, and the taxpayers were paying so much money for these individuals to be housed in different locations, such as Missaukee County, Ludington, Osceola, Manistee, Benzie County. So they were traveling all over, and it was taking away from their corrections officers because they had to do so much transporting. So they got approved for a couple bonds, and they built a double tier new jail. So it is big enough. However, for unknown reasons, which I do believe, and again, safety reasons, and that's my opinion. They did not indicate that, but there's no reason. Again, I've gone through that jail where they did a walkthrough, and before they did a soft, or an opening, not a soft opening, they did an opening of the jail. They did a walkthrough, and that Wexford County Jail is big enough to house numerous inmates. They actually house inmates for Kalkaska, because Kalkaska Jail can only house inmates in their jail for, I think, 48 to 72 hours due to a vast majority of Kalkaska Jail being condemned. So, and I know they house for other smaller areas as well in Wexford County. So having enough room for Brad indicates it's not the issue. I can't really recall how many pods there are, but I believe, I know for a fact there are two women huge pods. One of those pods for the women, and I can vouch for this, one of the women's pods is max security. So max security means either you have a high security rate, you're not cleared to be in a general population area. And the other thing is if you are not sentenced, you have to stay in the max security area. So that means you're locked down for 18 to 19 hours per day. Okay, and then there's two tiers. So you've got the upstairs and the downstairs, and they're going to rotate. The downstairs is never going to be out when the upstairs is out, kind of thing, and vice versa. Now, the other pod, the second pod for women, is for lower security. So if you have a lower number and you're sentenced, you can go over to the general population. You're not locked down, so you have free roam upstairs and downstairs 24 hours a day. However, bedtime, I think it's 10 o'clock, and that's lights out, no TV kind of thing, no phones. And I've kind of done a little digging and made some calls, and that's where I got these facts. Now, the gentlemen, the guys, their pods are, I want to say there's 5 or 6 pods for the guys. There's mostly gentlemen in the jails. I mean, it's just a fact here. So I believe they have 2 max security or non-sentenced individuals, individual pods for max security and non-sentenced. So they have 2 of those, up and bottom tier, 2 cells of those. And I believe, so they have 20 people in each one of those. Okay. And then I believe they have 3 or 4 general population. That means they've been sentenced or they have a lower security rate. So for security reasons, this is what I believe, and I think we're going to find out here soon. I'm just going to, keep my ears to the phone. Is that he's got some enemies in there. We know Richie is obviously in one of the 2 max securities or non-sentenced, because he's not sentenced, pods. So that leaves 1 more pod that fits 20 people in it. So I believe that there's somebody in these pods that he is with him, there's a what they call a hit list, and that's what they call it. Before I got home, I did talk to Christina, but before that I did call the jail, and they say, if there's any animosity or because when you go into jail, they said that they ask you, do you have any enemies? And then people tend to say, yes, I don't get along with this person. From every search that I found, there is no roster for Wexford County. I don't know how we can get a roster to eliminate, who those people would be, because Caveman just was released, and I believe that was just last week when Kimmy and Richie were, arraigned. So I'm just not sure who that would be. So again, he's being housed in Missaukee County. I truly believe it's for safety reasons. And that could also be because he was taken out back to the crime scene of where Becca's unalived body was found. I can't imagine any other reason for them to be taking Brad back to the crime, where they found Becca, for any other reason than to go over how, when, why, and what happened. So that's my opinion. I think we're going to find out. I know we'll find out at the time of the preliminary hearing, unless, here's the kicker, unless that preliminary hearing, and I always say hearing, or you can call it exam, is waived. So, I'm not sure if he is helping the detectives. We did see Courtney, through the screen. We did see Brad as well, but it was harder to see Brad because he was in Missaukee County courthouse or courtroom, and it was just, their camera is so far away. So we got to see like him walking in and sitting down, and then when he sat down, we were only able to see from like his waist down. We didn't get to see his face. So anyway, so both of them, the detectives, the investigators, have not prepared the full charges and provided that to the prosecuting attorney. So at this time, note that Bradley was in oranges and Courtney was in her normal street clothes. Courtney was also utilizing a wheelchair. It wasn't your standard. It didn't look like your standard, black metal or titanium. It looked like it almost like it was like a plastic, maybe some sort of jail friendly, is what I would say. She did look very awful. That picture we seen last night of her mugshot, it was way worse than that. She didn't have her hair up, her was down. It didn't look like she was crying, but she had a very mean mug face on. She was not happy whatsoever. And when you're I asked the I can't remember what you call them, but the police officers that were in the courtroom, I said, can they hear us? And he said no. And I said, can they see us? He said no. Sorry, it was the dolled up version of horrible. Yes. So we have to go back. They're postponing it. So if I remember correctly, the judge said white, there's a Michigan verse or something verse, white head. I think it's what he said, white head. That they're allowed up to 48 hours to arraign somebody. I don't know that case. I can Google it. If somebody wants to Google it, that's fine. I believe he said Whitehead, that they're allowed 48 hours. I thought it was 72 hours for a misdemeanor and only 24 hours to be arraigned for a felony. And we don't know any of the charges yet because the investigators and the Michigan State Police are working side by side with, the FBI. They're working with Wexford Sheriff's Department. So those charges have to be drawn up. They have to be submitted to the prosecuting attorney. And we are scheduled to be back in court tomorrow at 1:30. So I do plan on going to that. 1 second, guys. I got a little nifty here. I don't know if you see that. So it's not going to be an open court to where we can stream. So the media has placed. It's called a request and notice for film and electronics. The officer told me I can go up to them and request that. So I have the petition here. I am going to fill that out once I get done and fax that in to see if I can get approved to film. When I talked to the ladies up at the front desk, they said most definitely they're definitely not going to deny people as long as there's not any disruption or violence or anything like that going on. So one has to be filled out for Courtney, another has to be filled out for Brad. Also, another update, I did ask the courts about the preliminary exam or hearing is tomorrow for Kimberly, and that is at 10:30 in the morning. So I do plan on being there for that. And I did ask, is that something that they're planning on, waiving? Because sometimes it's the last minute and they waive it. So there is still a possibility that that can be waived. But at this time, I really, really think that for the best interest of Kimberly, that she does not waive that. I know she can't see this, but I really hope she goes through with that because she needs to know, her attorney needs to know, and the people need to know what all the evidence is, because I think we're all just sitting here kind of going back and forth. Is she guilty? Is she a part of this? Is she not a part of this? So I've got a lot of questions just like everybody else. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, but I didn't pick one up for Kimberly because if you remember when we did the arraignment for Kimberly, they told the people in the courtroom, and I was not there, I was at home, that they could not live stream, they could not take photos, but they could record Richie and Kimberly. But it can only be recording, and then they can, use that later for something else or on live, put that on there to play. So I'm kind of hoping that's the case for this. I feel this, Courtney and Brad are more important just because of the extensive alleged, hopefully alleged charges. And we have to remember that, this Becca was found on federal land. So, I'm positive and I truly believe the feds are watching. And they're, if there's one slip up from, our justice system here in Wexford County, I feel like they're going to take over. So I sat next to Rich Fisher. We talked a lot. We really did. I saved him a spot. It was good conversations. We talked about Jenna. Okay. I reached out to her. She agreed to talk to me either yesterday or today. I've heard she told me that she was going to be going on the road Wednesday. She wasn't going to be in town. But then she was on live yesterday. Some of you may have or may have not seen it. So she is Richie Jr.'s cousin. So she's a Failer too. She lives in Florida. So we talked about her a lot because I've mentioned her name since Monday, the 24th, when we had that last protest. Yep, she was on today too. Yeah, she's on right now. I figured. I can't. She's still got me blocked. She doesn't plan on talking to me. I can guarantee that. How she did communicate with me is because I found her on Facebook on this past Saturday, and I friend requested her, and I also sent her a message saying, "Hey, I would like to take you off the list. I would like to ask you some questions. Is there a way that we can talk, cordially? It could even be privately. I mean, I am going to record it." And I did tell her that. Ooh, baby. And she agreed. She said that she was going to be out of town, and I can provide that, that message chain to you, to everybody, that she would be out of town on Wednesday. She can do Sunday or Monday. I haven't heard back from her. I did send her a message last night saying, "Hey, obviously the day is already over. Would you like to meet up sometime tomorrow?" And this was after we already knew that Courtney, they did a whole sweep of the house. They knocked, kicked the door in or the wall. I'm not sure. I think it was a wall. So I haven't heard back from her. I don't think she's going to do that. I don't think she's going to talk to me. However, so Rich showed me a text chain from Sunday, which was yesterday, of his and hers, and it was very brief. And she says to him on the text chain, "Do you think it's safe for me to come back to Cadillac to see my dad?" And I'm like, and it's a question mark. And I'm like, first thought is, if that was me, I would say, do you think it's safe for me to come back to Cadillac to see my children and my father or my dad? Because if my children are living here and I'm living in Florida, my children are always my number one. So they come first. And then, of course, I'd want to see my mom or my dad. So I'm not nitpicking, but I would think that you would want to say children, but whatever. That was a red flag for me. And then the next sentence is what got me. She goes, "Because I'm the one that turned my family in." This is no joke. Because I didn't ask to take a picture of it. I'm sure that Rich would gladly show it. Neither one of us believe that at all. Okay. Now, let's get into the conversation that I had with Rich and Rich's roommate, which is the roommate is the same gentleman that was out with Rich at the November 24th protest. And they proceed to tell me that she's a registered nurse and that this is what she told them. And she's also a veterinarian. Okay. Nurses have a lot of clearance. Okay. Registered nurses have a lot of clearance. But let me reiterate, my mom is down here. She doesn't want to go on live, but my mom is a registered charge nurse downstate. And everything to a T is documented. Every time you go into a patient's room, it's documented. And it's not like it used to be on paper charts. It's all electronically done. So you're rolling around a cart. If you need a med, it doesn't matter if it be a class 1 narcotic or class 2 narcotic down to a Tylenol. You have to go to a room and literally use a keypad, punch in your keypad. Everything is documented down to who's getting that med. So the patient, the time, the dose, the nurse. And then when you roll your cart back into the patient's room, you're documenting again and watching them take their medication. Or if it's liquid, you're putting it in the IV bag or, whatever needs to be done. So I'm going to say this. There's a story I'm going to tell you. I have a friend that is now married into the family, and she is a registered nurse locally. And she told me a story once. And she said that she did all the procedures and she gave the patient the med. And the patient, when she left the room, the patient spit the med out and hid it under the blanket or the pillow or the sheet. I'm not sure. So when the patient was getting a bath the following day or a shower, when the housekeeping came in, or the environmental services is what they call them, sorry, this is not a hotel, it's a hospital, so I should say it right, came in to clean the room and change the sheets and all this stuff before the patient came back, it fell out of the bed. So obviously, you could put 2 and 2 together, but that's not how it works in the hospital. How it works is that they have to do a full investigation. They're going to have to write it up. They're also going to have to, do all the documentation. They're going to have to investigate, meet with the nurse that gave that medication. And they have all of that information. So whatever that medication was, they know the last time that it was, taken out, who it was taken out by, who passed the medication, and who was supposed to be there to watch it and document it. Period. The end. So, obviously they were able to take care of that, and she's fine, my friend. But ultimately, they don't have the clearance that you would think they do. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference between a registered nurse that's working in the hospital or a nurse that's working, maybe a hospice or all of that. Now there's surgical nurses too. Now they have more access to your your surgical instruments that you would need to do what happened to Becca, okay, to take that baby out. If that is the case, if that is really what happened. Okay, so, I don't know if you were with us last night or this morning, let's say that early this morning, there's a lot of questions. Did she really get cut open and was the baby removed that way? I know she did. I'm just gonna get to that. Did she have a natural birth and hemorrhage? We have, for a fact, information that she was at high risk birth or high risk for natural labor. So she was scheduled for a C-section. We've done some research about. Can't remember. Does somebody remember what RT said? I know she said it earlier this morning. Something with the placenta. I know she said she'll be right back. But something with the placenta being in front of the baby and towards the stomach area. Did you say privia? Is that how you say it? Placenta privia. Okay, so she can definitely bleed out. So that's why if she had natural birth, so that's why they wanted to do the C-section. And because of that, they wouldn't have waited until she's 38, 39, 40 weeks pregnant to do the surgery and to have the C-section. They would have probably done it at 36, 37 weeks, probably 37 weeks. And I did, after I went, logged off the live, I did look that up, and that is pretty accurate. And, we talked about a little bit too this morning about, and the reason for that is because the baby's preparing slowly, turning and upside down, and the head's going in the birthing canal. And they don't want that to happen because that's, where the placenta is going to be because it's in front of it. So I'm just curious on that aspect. And, she said she's a traveling nurse. That's what she said. Traveling nurse to her means it could be anything from a MA, a medical assistant, a CNA, an LPN, to an NP, which is a nurse practitioner, all the way to a registered nurse and a registered nurse. That is not true. If you are a nurse, you're a nurse. Now, there is a certified nursing assistant. There is an LPN, has nurse in it, but and then you have NP, which is a nurse practitioner. That there's differences. Nurse practitioner, you can write prescriptions. You can't write, certain scheduled narcotics, class scheduled narcotics. You can't without another physician above you signing off on those. A medical assistant is not a nurse.
No, we are. So I was one, and you just have a certification like a CNA.
Right.
You're not a traveling nurse. Only LPN, RN, nurse practitioners are traveling nurses.
Yeah, and here in Cadillac, if you don't even I don't even know if you need a high school diploma to be like a home health aide or a CNA. You know what I mean? We have lots of home health aides that travel,
So
but that's
I worked at a local here in town recently where we did in home health aides. I staff for health aides in Grand Rapids, Kent County, and also I didn't do the Wexford County area, Misaki or Osceola, but there was another supervisor that did that. We do ask, but we didn't get proof, okay, that they had a high school diploma. So whether or not you have that or not, I'm not sure, but we checked. She does not. I mean, she did have if I remember correctly, it was a CNA in Michigan, if I'm correct. And CNA, yes, CNAs can travel, but you're a nurse assistant. You assist the nurse. You're not a nurse. You can't. There's a difference. Traveling nurse is a nurse. Okay, you're registered to the state that you're working. And if you're traveling and you're traveling state by state and working, then you're going to be registered with each individual state that you're traveling to. Is that correct?
I believe you're supposed to be. Yes.
be registered. Of course, you'd have to be. I can't imagine you could just walk
Right.
up and do things in different states,
Right.
you have to have a license for each state. Now there's some that are, you can do it just depends on where you go to school. Like you could probably be Missouri and Kansas. Maybe, but I think you have to be licensed for each state.
Right.
And a CNA, I thought they were just for nursing homes, stuff like that.
Well,
I could be
CNAs,
wrong.
they have CNAs in the hospitals. I mean, I almost went and did my CNA before, a long, long time ago. My mom, before she went to school to be a nurse, she worked at Lakeview Manor, which is no, they changed the name, here in Cadillac. And that's what made her want to be a nurse because, you know, back then, and I don't know if they still do this, or they still call people this. But, and I hate to say this, but because they're needed. CNAs are needed, but where she worked, a lot of their job was to bathe them, you know, make sure they're eating and feeding them, getting them ready for bed, getting them to programs like activities within the facility, and take care of their your daily bowel functions, and they call AKA wipe ass wipers, which is terrible.
Ellie,
But yeah,
I
But to
need you
pass
to go
meds, you
back
have
to
to have
what
another
I
certification.
need you to go back to what Rich told you about vet tech. Because let me tell you something.
she said
Girl,
that
there's
she
been
said
a
she's a
girl over on.
veterinarian.
Okay, listen to me. There is a vet tech here on this app, and a lot of people on my side probably know her by name. On the lesbian side, who is a claimed traveling vet tech who keeps losing her jobs for stealing veterinary rugs. I
What?
still feel to this day that she was given Pitocin because of her complaints. I don't think it's got a damn thing to do with a registered nurse license, a CNA. I think we're looking in the wrong spot.
Yep.
And since you just said veterinary, that is the connection that I have been digging for.
Yep.
And you said that, and she was up there over that time that Rebecca come up missing. I'm telling you, it's veterinary meds. It is
Yes, I
Pitocin.
agree.
It
And
is not a
RT has
NOCO.
been
She
saying
didn't
that for a
OD.
while.
They induced her fucking labor.
Yep.
And it's so easy down there in Florida because the girl that we all know, how many jobs has that? I'm not going to drop names in here and, cause drama, but everybody knows. She's gone through job after job after job after job in Florida. They don't have to hold a license for a vet tech. They do
Really?
not. Correct. So they
In
get
Michigan, you
access, they
do.
get in there. It's different. It's different in Florida. That's what I'm saying. I'm like jumping up and down in the chat because the girls that I hang out with on my side, we all know this story, girl. It's they must flock down there because it's easy to get their hands on.
So how
And
long
it's
does Pitocin take to start working?
not long.
Because I mean, I'm just
I'm wondering if they knocked her out and gave her an IV because of these people, if they're rug users, they know how to start IVs, and injected it. And
When I
that's why
had
it was in
when
that.
I had my
Why?
first daughter, they gave
Where?
me Pitocin,
It's
and
evil. It's
they
evil.
started my Pitocin at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and my daughter was born by 12.
What color was the glove that was found that was ripped off with the liquid in it?
Blue or black.
I think it's black, and I mean, it's all on to the vets, what they prefer.
Blue.
Was it
I
blue?
It was blue. The liquid was black.
Okay, that's right. I couldn't remember. I thought it was
So like I
blue
really
glove.
feel deep in my heart because of these repeated, and this is about the third case because not only this girl but there's one other person. Gabby Jacobson claims to be a vet tech, actually, guys. It's really weird, this common vet tech claim for people who are accused of using rugs or want access to them because it's really easy. You remember the carfentanil and all these rugs are coming up missing. And that's what they cut the shit with in the street that's unaliving our children when they OD on the stuff when their friends give it to them.
They also did just switch even antibiotics. So I guess not just, but within the last probably 4 or 5 years, they did switch where even antibiotics for farm animals, you now have to have a prescription from a vet. I know this obviously. I have a very large farm, but you have to have prescriptions, and RT is not wrong because the only place that I personally am aware of to get vet medicine any sorts of medicine is online, and it is for, they don't claim for it to be vet meds. It is claimed to be for learning purposes, quote unquote, but you can buy the medications for quote unquote learning purposes. And that website, sure enough, is out of Florida. And I know this personally, like I said.
See, I've had this feeling so deep in my heart that there's been rugs moving all over this app since I came out here. That's why they made fentanyl trafficking accusations against me, to shut me the fuck up. But all of these people come out of Florida.
Yeah.
Most of them. And here's the thing. You can go work at a vet's office and not be a vet tech, right? But you can help out or
Absolutely.
clean kennels, and you still have access.
And it is extremely easy to get a poultry, waterfowl, and small animal vet
It is.
certification. And I swear to goodness, I think it's very simple to do so, because all you're doing, it's like you're like a nurse assistant. But
Guys, I've been saying this from the rooftop with her for a week and a half.
Robin, she had placenta previa, so if they induced her labor, she hemorrhaged to death.
and
Because
remember,
the placenta would be in front of the baby, and the baby was already coming down the birth canal because she was dilated to 1, so it was in place, but that placenta probably would have hemorrhaged and killed
And
them
for
both.
everybody watching, this is just a discussion.
That
These
is,
are
yeah.
not- these
This is
are-
my
these are
best
our opinions.
educated guess based on the
Correct.
evidence that
Thank you.
yeah.
If the placenta hemorrhaged, or if she hemorrhaged, could the baby still survive?
No, because of you would have to get it out immediately. So they might have tried. They might have tried. Because if she suddenly had a gush of blood, which would explain a couch, you know what I mean? And they tried to get the baby out to save it. But the problem is she wouldn't have went into labor if you wouldn't have gave her something to do it in the first fucking place. So even if you tried to save her or the baby, it doesn't matter what you did caused it.
Yeah. Which hypothetically explain why they found her cut open. Because if she did hemorrhage, thinking they were going to induce her and she was going to have a natural birth, and then she started gushing in blood and hemorrhaging, this would explain why she was cut open.
Was she the one who brought up the vet tech thing, or did Rich?
Rich brought it up. Well, she brought it up. Sorry,
Okay.
she brought it up in the text message.
So she told on herself.
So she's not working. Yeah, she's not working in neither one of those fields, supposedly. Now, when I talked to her on Chef's Live on Saturday before I went to work for literally a couple minutes because I had to go to work, she said that she's been fired because of all of this, et cetera, et cetera. She's, she says one thing one time and says another thing the other time. It's like she contradicts just like the entire.
Well, I'm looking at these comments about a bunch of ma'am, strong mamas, stay strong mamas. I was dilated to 3 for 13 fucking days. She wasn't going into labor for quite some time, ma'am. And she was a scheduled C-section because of a high-risk pregnancy, ma'am. She wasn't going into labor either way, but the hospital sent her home that night. This is where the misinformation needs to stop, guys.
There really are. I do have a quick question. Obviously there's been a lot of different lives, and there's, been some readings, and there's been a lot of speculation and tons of theories, tons of facts out there. Just a thought, Courtney, one of the only people that Courtney didn't talk badly about was her mother. Do we know where her mother is buried? Like, I know this sounds so disgusting, but did she maybe put the baby with her mom?
That's interesting.
Courtney
He
has
also
literally
brought up in a
talked
text to
bad.
Rich.
Yeah.
She also brought in a text to Rich that Rich showed me. I got so much information here in my brain. Today he showed me a text message between Kimmy and him, and then that Kimmy said that the Tennessee story is not true. And then also with Courtney and him. And Courtney brought up a lady's named Jessica. That's a name that I have not heard.
Do I have that written down? Let me look.
But I mean, can anybody look in their notes
I am going
and
now.
see if they can remember? Thank you, because that is like sticking in the back of my head because, that's a lot of, I'm just saying, this is, again, my thoughts, my opinions. It's a lot of driving for one person to drive 20. I don't know, I can get to, Orlando in 21 hours, you know.
It took me
But
17 to get to Georgia. So yeah, about 20 hours probably.
so that's a lot of hours to drive for one person. I mean, I drove 11 and a half, 12 hours to Frenchtown, New Jersey. Okay. And by the time I got there, I was like, my eyes were heavy, I was kind of going out. So 20 to 21 hours driving straight. And that's what she said. Just to be here for a little bit of time. When I say a little bit, like a millimeter of a second
It
feels
doesn't
like.
make sense to me because I drive
was
across
what,
the
3
country
days?
and there ain't no way in hell.
Right.
And to not visit everybody. I mean, I understand the situation that's going on, but I'm sorry if I was here because
Jason
a
and
loved one
Jessica
went
Clamp.
missing, I
It
would
was
be
the
up
Clamps.
definitely.
Hold on. So you said the KLEMP?
The ones that were arrested, but they came from Tennessee. Jason and Jessica Klimp, and they were just recently arrested. There's that Jessica.
Yeah, but they've been arrested. That's the ones that are with the Stacy, right? Her children.
I do believe so, but they were literally just extradited. So like that.
But they've been
that's the only
incarcerated
Jessica. Have they? I haven't dug too far into them. I don't know. I just looked at the article of when they went and got extradited.
I believe I have to look, and I can get with Stacy as well. But I believe that they have been incarcerated this
for
entire
a
time.
minute. Okay, I'm looking. I'm still looking.
Yeah,
But
they came from Tennessee.
literally, the last few things that Courtney said to Rich Fisher was something about a Jessica. And I can't recall exactly how it was said, but it was like, no, Jessica, has this, or Jessica did this, or something along those lines. And I can't, I don't remember hearing Jessica.
Back
And
to the
they're
many theories in the medium. The medium did state a J.
A J. That's
If
literally what
people
I'm
believe
looking
in
at
this,
right now.
okay?
J, F, and A.
Right.
J
That's
and
why I
a
was
K.
like, I know everybody believes something different, and to each their own. But if people do believe
Well,
in
so
that, that
far
is a
she's been
J.
pretty
Hold on, guys. I
accurate.
got to mute myself for
Right.
just a
Right.
minute.
But I still think that, maybe somebody should potentially look into maybe the mother's burial and see if maybe, she put, because I mean, this lady's sick in the head. And I feel like if that was her motive, then she cares for that infant. And I feel like she would have done something sentimental. Or, I mean, I don't know. This woman
Well, it
is
meant
not
something
sentimental
to
at
her.
all.
She had been
Right.
planning this. It meant something. So yes, I can see where you're going with that. Yes.
I mean, just a theory, just my opinion. Like I said,
It's worth a
this
check.
discussion is all theory, all, we come from all angles. Please do not run with any rumors.
And those people that are in Wexford County, right? And they
Yeah, they're
are
used
used to live there. They used to live there, and they just got extradited from Tennessee.
Oh, man. I just got gifted suspended for 10 minutes. What does that
Oh,
mean?
because your camera's off more than likely.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they've gotten real weird with the gifting. Like if you have a green screen up and you're not in the camera or your camera's on, it's probably why Chef's in his own live for once.
She's not, that means her account's not getting.
No, it's just the gifting, being able to get gifted.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't care about that.
No. It's their new monetization guideline rules because of the way that people make money on the app.
And someone in the comments just did say that a cemetery was mentioned. Why are we echoing? Is
I
that
think
me
it's
echoing?
because, let me mute. If you're not talking,
Do you have Bluetooth? Do you have your AirPod in? A lot of times it'll do that.
I don't. I
don't.
have my tablet.
Weird.
But yeah, I definitely think that, the cemetery, and I don't know, did anyone catch what the medium pulled Drama Talk back over after the reading last night? And then she pulled her back over for just a few minutes and I didn't catch it.
I've been
Because
trying
we were
not
in
to stress
live.
that poor woman out. She looks tired every time I go in
Yeah,
there.
she looks exhausted.
She doesn't sleep because of her night terrors.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Something about the
Yeah.
name, not like a Forrest and a
Yep,
cemetery.
I did hear that part. A forest without a forest, or a forest not in a forest, or something. She said. I think.
I wasn't like referring to any sort of nature or anything, but she just kept seeing the word forest or something. So maybe a name because she was thinking a cemetery,
Is
and
that
that's.
a cemetery name?
Or
I
the
don't think there's a
road.
cemetery named Forest. I don't know of any Forest Road. I mean, well, there's a Forest View Elementary that's near there.
What's the little old cemetery in Mesick? Like, I mean, this cemetery is old. Someone told me it earlier today, and I forget the name of it. But there is an old, very old cemetery.
Was that the Westland that I was sending out in Boone?
Maybe. No, this was right outside of me, like right in Mesick, I think. Hold
Oh.
on. Let me
It's
drop down real
Sandra
quick.
Fox is her mother's name.
Thank you, RT.
I have the whole family tree practically over here.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
let's.
pause for a minute and drop out so I can go text my friend to find out what that name of that cemetery is.
Okay, honey.
So talking
Yeah.
about Mesick, that was another thing that was brought up
Was
in
it?
Courtney's text. It was also brought up in text. Something about Houghton Pile Dam, and I know you, Christina, you just walked out.
I brought that place up too.
Yep, so-
it raised red flags to me.
She said we need to be Kimmy, sorry, Courtney didn't say this. Kimmy said in the text message we need to be looking in Houghton Pile Dam, Mesick area. And
I
then
searched 90% of those.
I know you did.
Okay, yeah. But I mean,
Now-
that they did drop the body, so it doesn't mean that there's, just because we search those spots doesn't mean that there isn't something there now.
And they're saying that there's more. And remember, there's supposed to be more
Water?
than one.
I
More than
mean,
one child.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't.
flowing water, she said. She did say flowing water, and a new bridge.
And they just redid the bridge, didn't they? There.
Yes, it's supposed to be a new bridge, she said.
That's
And
where,
There
that's the
is-
place that I was drawn to when I first saw the water and heard about that. I went looking and I said, that's where I would look. And then they
So
all
there-
went to the compound and everything.
There are a few different bridges that, just like old bridges, that people put in there over the years to cross creeks, to cross the, you know what I mean, the muck, the swamp. So, I mean, there are several bridges, small man-made bridges, and obviously everything's man-made, but I think you guys get what I'm saying. Like, not professionally done. But there is a couple new ones that are on those trails along Houghton Pile. But I really
think
do
that's worth
believe
a
that.
look-see.
Right, but with the snow and stuff, I was out there just a couple of days, 2 days before they found Becca, and the
I mean,
snow
like with
now.
a cadaver dog.
Yes, and she's shared. Shimmering.
It's rough out there. I
has
mean, I have
shared
four-wheel
her
drive.
location for all of her for all of her where she's searched out there. I mean, I can see exactly where she's gone up and down. I mean, it's insane how much we've searched. But again, we've searched behind, in front, everywhere over where Courtney's house is for Rebecca, and didn't find her until after the Monday night, when she basically gave us the location of where she was going to be at the next day.
I know that was just completely ridiculous. I can't. I mean, I'm glad, but like, come on,
I'm just.
And that it is a possibility
Joe
that
said the
somebody was
Klimt
watching.
Children's bio mother is here. If you had any questions,
Stacy?
Yeah, Stacy's in here.
Hey Sally, I'm gonna put you down, okay, hun? Disconnect.
And we do need to take into consideration that thousands of people were watching these lives and heard what she said. I mean, and I'm not saying that she didn't do it, because we all know she probably did, but it's just
Hey,
another view. Somebody had
Stacy,
mentioned
can you
it
go ahead and
before.
request, hun? It's gonna be the bottom left corner. You're gonna see the pink and blue people. There we go.
I'm going to drop down because I was heading to bed. I just wanted to point that out because we have dealt with the veterinary tech crap out of Florida so many times, and meds and even narcs and everything, that it should not be dismissed at all.
Yeah, very good.
Absolutely, RT. And I feel kind of dumb for not thinking about that myself.
It's easy to
doing a
overlook
farm
when
life.
you're well, when we're looking down a certain avenue and we're all like been on something, it's like easy to do that. And then it's like, well,
What's her screen name?
whose?
Is it Stacy or
I
yeah, it's
think it was
Stacy.
Mama for Justice.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if she changed her name. Okay, she did.
Mama for Justice.
But thank you, RT. We do
Yeah,
appreciate
you
your
guys have a
knowledge
good
and your
day. I'm gonna be
input.
down here falling asleep to you, lovely
Oh.
ladies.
All right. Sweet dreams, woman.
Hello. Hey, hon. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
How are you? I haven't talked to you in God forever.
I'm doing. They're threatening with a gag order.
Ugh.
What? This is
I
Angel.
figured they would.
What's that?
This
I
is
figured
Angel,
that-
by the way. Forever
Angel.
grateful. I don't know if you know that.
Angel whom?
Angel Hooker.
Oh my gosh. Hi.
Angel. Yeah.
Yeah, the prosecutors stepped off the family motion. The attorney general has stepped in to deal with me.
What?
Yeah, they asked the prosecutor to step aside. The attorney general's assistant has stepped in for the family court motion. My federal court motion has been dismissed without prejudice, so there is a lot of oversight, and they're scared. And I went on with She's Country yesterday morning.
I seen that.
It brought so much attention that I had to change my names because I apparently have a stalker.
That's why I didn't recognize that was you because it was under a different name, which
Yeah.
is smart. And we talked about that with Forever Grateful as well. You know, it's just important that we're not hiding anything, but it's just our privacy.
Yeah, I have other children. 2 of them are still minors, and I have to protect them first and foremost. Jason and Jessica Klemp adopted my daughters back in 2012. They did not take all my children. They took the youngest 2. I placed them in a guardianship before I was incarcerated. Their father unalived himself, and I lost my shit. I used drugs for about 9 months. I got myself in trouble for smuggling Klonopin into the county jail, which was my own prescription, not something off the streets. Just before I was released from incarceration, they terminated the rights to the 2 girls and allowed Jason and Jessica to adopt them. I appealed. I never signed off any type of rights. Immediately following parole, they gave me back all my other children. I have had guardianship of my grandson before. I have an adopted 10-year-old son now. For 10 years, I thought they were with a good Christian family. I put my life back together. I raised my other kids. The beginning of last year, my mother unalived herself and my dad was dying from leukemia. And 2 days after my dad passed, this hit national news. My first husband's wife called me and said, turn the TV on. And that is how I found out. I drove to Tennessee. I sat through the arraignment. The details of it were disgusting. It literally made me puke. I tried to get them to arrest me. They refused. I just wanted 5 minutes alone with Jessica. Since then, I have written thousands of letters, every state representative, every state senator. I have done a U.S. Department of Justice complaint. I have filed financial complaints for Title IV funding violations. I have tried to file guardianship 2 times. The clerk at the Wexford County Probate Court will not accept them. So now I am filing what's called a mandamus motion, which is to force the clerk to do her job. I have a motion to vacate termination that I have studied and written myself and filed with over 80 exhibits, over 35 of their own rules that they broke. They didn't even wait the 6 months for them to adopt them. I'm waiting on a court hearing, and I found out that the Michigan Attorney General's assistant is who is coming to court, not the prosecutor. At this point, I'm just waiting for a hearing. I mean, if you have any questions, I'm willing to answer them, even the ones that make me look bad. That's
I don't
kind of a
think.
recap. They made my girls sleep in blue plastic totes in their basement for a decade.
Ma'am, I promise you that nobody will badger you on this platform or on this live.
Oh, I
You are
only have one
completely fine.
stalker. He or she goes by Joe King, Joking, and he
No
can
way.
yes, and
I just
the
thought
Joe
the same
King
thing,
I
Allie.
know is in prison. So I know that it's a fake profile.
Right.
They don't have any friends, but they continuously post about me. The one post is actually crosses the line on defamation, and so that has been reported. The Climps are in the Wexford County Jail. I have chosen not to go to their court dates until they go to trial because I don't want to put my family through that anymore. I don't really know what else to say. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Hold on. Very, very cherry in the comments is saying the church pastor's kids are the Climps.
Yes,
No.
yes, that's what I've been trying to say.
No, I think it's
The
a police
Jason
officer's daughter,
Climp's
right?
Jessica is Officer Brooks's daughter, and Jason is Ron Klimp's son. Ron used to be a pastor. He has retired.
Oh,
And I do believe that Officer Brooks is retired at this time too.
Right.
But I need people to know that Jason and Jessica cut off contact with their parents. They had nothing to do with this.
parents didn't know anything of that was going
No.
on then? Okay.
Absolutely
Okay.
not. They had no contact with them. Please don't bother them. They are good people.
I never would do that. But so they didn't know, but is it possible because of the name though? Is that like because of her name? Is that or
I believe with all my heart, had they not been caught in Tennessee, that Wexford County would have swept it under the rug and never prosecuted.
right?
Rebecca has brought light to this county, and it's the only reason that anybody is even acknowledging me.
You know what? Take it for all you can. And you know what?
Yeah, well, I was trying not to impede on her space. You guys are her
Working on
voice.
trying to find Jimmy Strobe.
Ma'am, there are so many missing people, and we want to hear your story. We want these missing people and these families to bring their family members home.
Well,
We
because
want these stories shared.
Is a friend of mine, and she has been suffering for 12 years.
Michelle, is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So
And
sad.
I have been in contact with Jimmy's mom, and I've politely and respectfully asked her if after this if we can, we got a panel here, and we've got a few other individuals, and then we have the entire world that is willing to look into this. I mean, everybody, we've been screaming it for weeks that Wexford needs to be investigated. There's so many things going on here, and we all know that. We've known that. All of us that are from Wexford County, we know what's going on here. We just can't prove it because I'm just one person. But now that we have this platform,
I have the receipts. I have proof. And it's in their own paperwork.
then we need to team up, and we can, if you're willing to allow us to work with you, I mean, get the word out, spread the word. I mean,
my Facebook is under Stacy Lynn, and I am verified. So my profile picture says, "Would you be quiet?"
no, we wouldn't, and we don't want to be quiet.
Hey,
I'm
Allie,
in-
I sent you two screenshots, and then that cemetery is Moran.
Okay, I seen that on when I was Googling for Misa Garrett. Let me hold on, guys.
All right, and I'm sorry to interrupt. Mama, I forget your name.
No worries.
I apologize. I just wanted. I got the text back, and I wanted to give Allie that cemetery name.
Absolutely. I was listening to the medium last night. I wish she'd call me.
Have
I hear that.
Have you talked to Dora the Explorer?
I have made the attempt, but she has not accepted my message request yet.
Well, once I get done, guys, I just want to let everybody know I'm taking my husband out to a nice dinner tonight just to try to spend some time with him. So I'm going to be away for a while after about 5 o'clock for just a little bit. But when I get back home, we can go back on discussion. Most of you know that we've all been glued to this for almost 30 days. I mean, like 26 days, I mean, it's been nonstop from sunup.
Y'all sound Rebecca. You
Huh?
have been her voice,
Yeah.
whereas I can be my kids' voice. She needed you guys.
For everybody, if it wasn't for this platform, the cops would have just not.
They wouldn't have done anything.
No.
I don't know that they don't care, you guys, and I have to say this. I feel like there was a lot of disregard when it came to enforcement, but I do believe wholeheartedly that now the MSP is involved. Like several people skipped over Wexford County because of what they said, unfortunately, and that does need to be addressed and dealt with. But I do believe now that MSP is involved, and now that they do have a body and full blown evidence that Becca didn't take off and she didn't just run away, I think that there will be a much sterner investigation at this point. I mean, the whole
Well,
world is watching them now. They have no choice but
I
to
hope
perform
so.
their duties, or hopefully do their, you know what I mean.
Hey, Stacy.
Yes, dear.
People are wanting to know where are your babies at now.
They were in the same foster home, but apparently their foster mother was very selfish, and she has now separated them because Peyton's too much like her mother. She's a Spitfire, so she got rid of her.
I happen to like her mother, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, she definitely is a picture of me, and I think that bothered her. So she's trying to adopt Abby, but as long as I continue to file motions, them adoptions are stopped.
Okay, good.
Have you talked to them or seen them in
No,
person?
no,
For 10 years?
not in 10 years. There's
Oh my
pictures of them on my wall. I can show you what they look like when they left. The East Tennessee Children's Hospital the doctor stated during the arraignment that until the girls were removed from their biological mother, they were in perfect health. They were chubby.
I'm so sorry.
Someone in the comments said, we need all the information before she gets a gag order. I absolutely agree. I say you scream your story from the rooftops, honey, until they place that gag order. Scream.
I'm
Tell your
trying.
story.
I'm
She's
trying.
been trying really hard, that's for sure. But this is definitely going to help.
Yeah,
I
we're
hung flyers all over Cadillac.
Now,
I
if
hung
they give
flyers
you a
all
gag
over
order,
Manton.
well, we're
if
gonna
they
A
let's,
gag order is actually unconstitutional, and I'm not sure how they could do it, but they're going to attempt it.
and we need to make sure that we're also her children's voice as well. And I mean, maybe we can break this up. I know we're obviously getting to the closest part of this. We just need to find the baby, get through for the justice for Rebecca. I know we all pray that the baby is still alive and all of that, and regardless the justice part. But we can split up our time. That's not a problem. And if everybody's okay with it, I think we
I'm
should,
fine with it.
make even 4 hours a day, or even in the evening, specifically, to go over your story, to go over your plans, to go over everything that you.
I have posted on my Facebook very publicly about my life, even the things that make me look bad, all my mistakes, everything I've ever been ashamed for. I have been very open about it. I have been clean since the day they took them girls. I took myself to detox the day I put them in guardianship.
I know that isn't hard, and I'm very proud of you. And I know that probably was not an easy step, especially since you turned to those things for grieving. And for
I was
that, I'm sorry that your
traumatized,
heart,
and they took advantage of my weakest moment.
I'm sorry for that, honey. I really am. That is really crappy.
We are just all doing the best we can to learn the laws and write the motions. Attorneys will not touch this. I have two attorneys that I refer to that help me with everything I'm doing, but As you know, that's a career ruiner. I'm going to need somebody that really has some balls to step up and
Um,
represent.
I have a very good suggestion for you. He is out of Traverse City. I don't know how far that is from you.
From me, it's only 10 minutes.
Okay, so he is, I want to say it's a $2,500 retainer for
I
some
don't care
cases.
what it costs.
Okay, I will,
Be done spent thousands of dollars.
I'll pull that name. I haven't had his number or seen him in a few years now, but I will pull that. I'll find his name and number, his current one, and I'll send it to Allie for you.
I cannot use Bill Barnett. He
No,
is my
it's
girl from
Crumb.
and I lied him. It was in the comments.
Oh,
And
okay.
I want him to continue to protect my girls.
I want to say the lawyer out of Traverse City, and he does do custody cases. I want to say it's Jeffrey Crumb, but I could be wrong. Like I
My
said, I'll find
husband
that.
said he's already called Jeffrey Crumb and he won't touch it.
Have you gone in there
Yeah.
in person?
No, I have not.
Do it, because he wouldn't
I
touch my
wrote my
case.
entire motion by myself and I have turned in over 80 exhibits.
Okay,
They violated over 35 of their own policies.
he told me no to until I went into his office personally, and I sat in there until he looked at my case. And it wasn't until after he looked at my case that he said, okay. And my case is very different than yours. So I just want to say that. But I would definitely, it is worth a shot to go in and talk to him face to face. He is a great person and he is very understanding.
I have called Jeffrey Feiger also. He turned me down.
They might be
What about
tied.
Christopher Cook? Have you tried Christopher Cook out of Traverse City? The one that
I've
had the
never
hit
heard
on, put out on him?
I've never
So
heard of
about,
him.
I want to say it was about eight, maybe 10 years ago, there was Christopher Cook, and I don't quote me on this. Somebody put a hit out. I want to say it was like the prosecutor of Grand Traverse County or something put a hit out on him because he uncovered a bunch of corruption, and I could be very wrong on details. But Christopher Cook is another good one to look into. He fought the whole Grand Traverse County, and he won.
For you in the comments, if you're wondering what this case is about, Google Jason and Jessica Klimp.
My other question is, does a gag order only pertain to the persons listed in the gag order, or would that pertain to everybody?
It would only pertain to me.
Perfect.
And anybody local that would like to look at what I've written up and see my case so that they can speak with facts, I'm happy to show you, but I can't let anybody have copies.
I put you up in the big box if you felt comfortable, if you wanted to show us your daughters. It's up to you. You don't have to, but maybe.
Just a minute. Earlier I got in trouble because I didn't know I wasn't supposed to smoke on TikTok.
Yeah, that's why I turned my camera off.
So yeah, I have plenty of pictures of the girls before they were taken.
People want to know where they can follow you besides here.
On my Facebook, I am Stacy Lynn. My profile picture says, "Would you be quiet?" How do I turn my camera around?
So
Okay.
touch your. Yep, there you go.
Miss
That is
Stacy.
Abby and my oldest daughter, just before they were taken. She was very beautiful. This is her again. Yeah, that's Peyton. I know they look very similar. They were very similar, but that's my mini me. This is Peyton. She was beautiful. She is beautiful. They look like little boys now. They had their hair cut all the way off. They had them so they appeared as boys. They are 13 and 14 now, but when they were found, they looked like they were about 6 years old. Yeah.
Now, this is another one of those Jody cases. What's that from? Gosh, what was it? From like Salt Lake City, wasn't it? It's like that kind of where they.
Oh, that crazy woman.
Yes.
Yes. And the boy,
That's my grandma.
he was duct taped or whatever and ran to the neighbors.
Hey, Stacy.
Yes.
I don't know if you have a pen and paper.
This is my son with Peyton when she was really little. My son I got to keep. They let me keep my four oldest kids. They only took the kids that weren't old enough to speak.
Yes, to speak for them. Yes.
They couldn't speak for themselves, so that's who
Wait,
they
so
took.
they left children in your custody and only took 2?
They took Abby and Peyton and terminated their rights, and as soon as I completed parole, they gave me back my other 4 with joint custody. I
Do you have a pen and
finished
paper,
raising
honey?
them. I have a daughter at state in her 3rd year. She's amazing. She's a freaking rock star. I have a senior in high school. I'm not going to tell you where, but yeah, I have a 10-year-old adopted son, and the same county gave me temporary guardianship of my grandson for a little while my daughter got back on her feet.
But they won't take Courtney's kids.
So the lawyer, Stacy, up in Traverse City, it is Christopher Cook. It is
Okay.
Cooke.
Could you message me that here on TikTok?
I'll text it. Allie, do you have
Yep.
her?
I'll
Okay,
get
I'm gonna
it.
text it.
I can
All
get it
right.
from Stacey.
And I did message him on Facebook as well to see if he is still, I believe he's still practicing. Like I said, I haven't talked to him in years, but I
We
did
actually
message.
own a house over there by Hoden Pile Dam. It is on the other side of the swamp from Courtney's. We moved and turned it into a rental and left the county.
I don't blame you.
I don't blame you either.
If it wasn't for me being married to my husband, I wouldn't be here either. You know that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not, it's not comfortable here. But my son's about to have a baby soon. So being a grandma, and it's crazy because I remember coming to your house and hanging out with all of your kids, when we were younger.
It is the best feeling in the world.
I can't wait.
It is definitely a blessing.
We're friends on Facebook. So what I'm going to do is when she sends me that, I'll send it over to you. Okay.
Yeah. Anybody, if there's one person that's local, maybe Angel, maybe you could come and look at what I've written up. I'm more than willing to show you all of it in its entirety. I just can't give copies to anyone until the court hearing is concluded.
Yeah, I would love to take a look at it. Yeah, for sure.
I've actually been to your office a few times to talk to you, but you never, apparently you didn't get the message.
No, you know what, Stacey? I think I did get the message.
I thought I talked to Erin.
I think, yeah, Erin, she's my daughter. You know that, right? Yeah. Yeah, no, I think she did give me the message. And I think what it was, I don't remember what or why. I think I lost your phone. I think I lost it. And then we've talked since then.
Yeah.
So I think I just forgot about it. You know what I mean? So
I'm going to turn my camera back off. But yeah, the girls were chubby when they were taken. And there was nothing wrong with them.
Sorry.
I remember whenever Stacey and you were going through all of that stuff. It's just so heartbreaking. I mean, like everything happened for you all at once. Also, you had a friend that was killed in front of you as well, right? Right during that time.
Yes. Chris unalived himself in the front yard.
I'm sorry, I said the wrong word.
And 3 days later, my friend's brains were blown out all over me. It was a rough time, and I lost my shit.
Say that again.
And then Ruthie and Junior passing away, and it was a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And they took advantage. I asked for help 3 times. They told me they couldn't help me because I hadn't done anything wrong. Then I tried to unalive myself, and they finally stepped in and suggested I put my kids in guardianship, so I did. Then as soon as I went to prison, they made that guardian turn herself into a foster home, and then they said they removed the 2 girls due to neglect, but they left the other kids in the home.
Understanding you were trying, like you were begging them for help, and we would help you, right? Like they weren't helping you.
I begged. I
So
begged,
you
I
got in
cried.
trouble not on purpose, but kind of on purpose because you needed help. You needed somebody. You couldn't do it with everything. It was just too much to bear, right?
Yes. And after Chris did that, I really wanted to know how he could choose that over his kids and me. And so I tried it, and now I understand. It numbed me, but it didn't just numb the feelings, it numbed everything. Took me years to put my life back together, but I have, and I'm doing really well.
Oh, yeah. I can see that for sure. And it's and not only that, but just everything that happened to you, and then just our family in general. You know what I mean? Just the fact that you were able to rise above it is just a test. It's a testimony. It
Well,
really is.
I have loved them from a distance because I know that's what's healthy for me.
For sure. I'm sure it is.
I talk to Kelly every day. She
Yeah,
has been
a lot of the family's very judgmental, and they don't. I know.
yeah. It's been rough. I sleep 3 to 4 hours a night. Sometimes I get a cortisol overload and I'll sleep for 15 hours. Definitely in therapy.
Have you guys all looked up how many
I don't get any
children?
contact at all, Angie.
There are a lot of cases like yours that are getting taken from their mothers.
Yeah.
I seen someone say in the comment about petitions. Are there petitions that we could get together or get saw? I mean,
Change.org petition. It's called justice or shoot.
I mean,
Uh,
even protesting. I mean,
if you guys want to come to the court hearing and be there, they can't kick you out.
right.
We can't record it, but they can't kick you out.
Okay. When's the court hearing?
I'm waiting for the paper to tell me. Yes, it's called Abby and Peyton's Law.
okay,
It
I was
states
just
that
gonna
when
say,
an adopted family is accused of abuse, that the first person to look at is the biological family if they have put their life back together. Yeah.
talking about CPS and all that, did I hear something correctly the other day about Kimmy's boyfriend? Something broken baby legs?
Yes.
Anybody else hear something about that?
Yes, that came from Carter.
Totally abusing his children.
Okay, I just wanted to double check. I'm like, wait a minute, I feel like I just heard that not long ago.
So Carter said that, because that was when I asked the question.
Oh yeah.
Was she ever if she had pets, was she ever, cruel to the pets, or
Yes.
about how was she around children, kind of thing, small children. So yeah, he mentioned that he doesn't recall anything. He did recall jealousy with Becca. He recalled, there something about her boyfriend at the time. Is it her current boyfriend or past boyfriend?
Right. Does anybody else know this story? Actually know it?
Because I don't want to say boyfriend and that somebody, come at me and say, well, they're not together. You know what I'm saying?
So who they're
Right,
referring
or
to is they're
people.
talking about James Mercer, who's in prison, the one that she couldn't marry but had a fake whatever marriage with. That's the one that they're talking about that broke the baby's leg, and that was before Kimmy was involved with him, because he's quite a bit.
She had the card because she's collecting his social security while he's incarcerated.
Right. I knew that part. I knew that how the card was linked. I did know that, but I just didn't. I was trying to recall that story, and I
Yeah,
thank
Matt
you.
Burns is who she's with now, who she lives with, and they live with his grandma or mom. But that's not the person who was accused of abusing children and breaking a child's legs.
Okay. Okay. Now, does anybody? Speaking of him, though, has anybody? I mean, how is he doing? I'm sure he's probably all sorts of. I mean, his girlfriend's in jail right now.
He's been a character we've not actually ever heard from.
Okay. Okay. Good to know.
I think he erased his social media immediately.
I don't blame him.
I've never found his social media. I know his brother Jacob still has social media. He's on TikTok and Facebook.
You're not
Yes,
supposed to be able to. Somebody in the comments is saying you can collect Social Security when you're in prison. That's not true.
Jason and Jessica are due in court tomorrow again, but I don't want to go until the trial starts.
What time are they doing court?
You can look it up on the Vine link. It posts their court dates. YouTube has it on.
Because I'll be there at 10:30 in the morning for Kimberly's preliminary exam, and then I'll be back at 1:30 for the arraignments that were postponed.
Allie,
Sounds like you'll be there all day, Allie.
But they have Jason and Jessica going in front of Melissa
10:30.
Ransom in
Did I say
Wisconsin
10:30?
County.
So I wonder if they're going to be housed at Wexford, but just do Zoom to Misaki or something, or Zoom her in over.
I believe that's the case
Yes.
because Jason Elmore was friends with Jason Klimp, and so he had to recuse himself.
So who's the judge on that then?
Melissa Ransom. And honestly, I think she's going to nail their asses to the wall.
Oh, I'm sure yeah. I've had a couple of dealings with her.
I have too, and she has always been fair with me and decent, so I have no bad words to say about her.
She's very decent, definitely.
I know her family from when we were kids, at the tree farm.
Yep.
And she's decent. She's fair, and I think that she's just as mad about this as I am.
Hey guys, I'm going to put myself on mute. I've got to fill this paperwork out for the courts tomorrow, and I have to get it in. So I'm going to put myself on mute. If you guys can kind of guide yourselves through this, I'll be back when I can, okay?
I have to go back to work. I will talk to you guys later. Yeah, Stacey, I will get with you. Why don't will you message me your phone number?
I will.
Unless if you guys don't want to keep the live going, we can come back tonight.
I can get you guys back here whenever you'd like.
Okay, so why don't we
I'm fine with whatever.
Why don't we plan on coming back around? I'm going to dinner. So let's say like between 8 and 9, and I'll message
that medium on here. I'd really like to hear what she has to say about my case.
Okay, yeah,
Maybe reach out to her privately.
Yeah, I think is it Chastity? That's her mom. But yeah, if somebody wants to reach out, you want to reach out. But let's reconvene back at between 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know this is quick, but yeah, I've got to have dinner with my husband and kind of just do some family time. And I need to get this paperwork in so we can get approved to have some recording of what's going on in the courtroom going forward. So, yeah, so 8 p.m. for Becca and the baby, and we'll see you then. And then, Stacey, I'm going to add you to our group chat. Is that okay?
That's absolutely fine.
All right, perfect. All right, see you guys tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All right,
Have a good dinner,
All right, thank you. Bye.
Yes, enjoy dinner, hon.